This is a very significant development. U.S. senators equipped with satellite phones amid speculations of a quote-unquote disruptive event. Do they know something and are getting ready without warning anyone else? More than 50 U.S. senators have received emergency satellite phones, CBS News reported May 21st. According to people familiar with the situation, the devices are part of a series of new security measures being offered to senators by a Senate bailiff who took office shortly after January 6, 2021. Such phones were offered to all 100 senators. However, according to the channel, only about 50 senators accepted the phones, which Senate administration staff recommends that senators keep in close proximity during their trips. The names of the senators who received such gadgets, quote-unquote, were not disclosed. Speaking before the Senate Appropriations Committee last month, Senate Attorney General for Arms Karen Gibson said satellite communications are being deployed, quote, to provide redundant and secure communications during a disruptive event, end quote. Gibson explained that the phones are a safety backup in the case of an emergency that would put communications out of service in parts of the states. Federal funding will cover the cost of satellite airtime needed to use telephone devices. A U.S. Department of Homeland Security consultant said satellite phones are a tool for responding and coordinating government agencies in the event of a man-made or natural disaster that destroys communications. Gibson also opened an office show space, quote-unquote, in the basement of one of the Senate buildings to offer senators and staff an exhibition of the office's new security devices. The showroom offers exhibitions of duress buttons, mail checking devices, and security glass to reduce the risk of attacks. The Senate administration also offered Stop the Bleeding, quote-unquote, training to better prepare staff to provide emergency medical care and help victims of attacks. In April, House Marshal William McFarland told lawmakers that he was actively involved in a program designed to help House members secure their homes. McFarland said chamber administrators are coordinating with local police departments to help protect members of Congress who host events in their states and their homes. A spending bill passed at the end of 2022 provides Congress with additional funds for security measures for congressmen in their hometown. The legislation required security administrators to strengthen member protection, including providing a security program to congressional leadership, expanding VIP protection division services, and expanding the presence of Capitol Police field offices, which would allow for the deployment and expansion of the Capitol Police presence in cities outside of Washington. Although the Capitol complex is guarded by nearly 2,000 Capitol Police officers, there's a growing concern among members of Congress about security in their hometowns. A California man was charged with a 2022 attack on the San Francisco home of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi at that time. The assailant allegedly targeted her when he ran into Pelosi's husband, and that happened then. Now, during the May 15 event on Representative Jerry Connolly's office in Virginia, one of the Connolly voters went against Congressman employees. So things like that happen. Now, mystery anticipation. Conspiracy theorists express a natural disaster such as a solar flare, a volcanic eruption, an asteroid impact, and so on, a man-made disaster, a global nuclear war, and the fall of the internet for some soft reasons, quote-unquote, such as a hacker attack, jabs with software, and so on. And further, there's even a version of the alien invasion, extraterrestrials invasion, which will land on Earth just about. So, anything goes. Although the general expectations of the people are rather pessimistic, it's encouraging that the event was made public. Senators are elected people and therefore must report to voters about their actions. Nevertheless, whether a senator uses a satellite phone or not is exclusively his personal business. He does not report this to anyone and should not report it. If we assume that within the next week there will be either some kind of a conflict or some kind of a mega catastrophe, then this information should, in theory, be secret, and there is absolutely no need to make the whole world aware of the distribution of emergency communication systems and alarm backpacks to politicians. There's still such a moment as executive power and legislative power. In case of this or that state of emergency, the situation is resolved by the executive branch, while the legislative branch stands in the background. Therefore, in case of an emergency, the legislature can distribute dynamo torchlights, candles, and matches, and senators will not need telephones. There is such a moment as the very principle of satellite communications. This, of course, is not mobile phones or Skype, but it is also not a telegraph, nor a system of army messengers, and semaphore on ships. The principle is the same: radio waves. Therefore, if there is a mega solar flare or a nuclear war, a satellite phone will not work, even more likely than a cell phone. And this is on Collective Spark by Solask. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.